Today on The Dead Life, we welcome Margaret Jamison. She's a descendant of Appalachian grannies, a light worker, and my professor of earth magic at Dead University. She's going to talk to you about how to clear your house, ushering 2024 out and 2025 in. We'll talk about intention setting for 2025, why it's important, and so much more. To book a reading with me, email us at booking@allisondubois.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Medium Allison, or you can watch me on YouTube to see new and past episodes of The Dead Life. Please like and subscribe. If you have a life question for me and Sophia for my Love Me Not segment, leave your question at 802-332-3811. Don't forget to pick up a bottle of my Divination 22 Money Potion Vodka or Love Potion at One Handsome Bastard in Old Town Scottsdale to set your intentions for 2025. Well, Margaret, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Getting ready for the new year.
I know. I think a lot of people are relieved to be exiting 2024 because that year of transformation, the 8 year, was no joke. It was a little painful, but it was meant to be. And we don't get another 8 year for 9 more years. So we want to really enjoy this last bit of it. But by the time this airs, and people will be starting into the 9 year, the year of endings that end things that no longer serve you. So I thought it would be great to have you here today to talk to us about some of the rituals you're practicing to prepare for the new year so we can do that as well.
Well, it is a big one. We're ushering in Chinese astrology the year of the dragon out. And actually, you're going to find this interesting. In Chinese astrology, this is the year of the snake, but not only the snake, the wood snake. The last time the element wood lined up with the snake was 1965.
Oh, wow.
And it just sounds like it's so in alignment with Tom McMullen's predictions
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
everything that went ahead. I thought I have to add that in.
The
You
Vietnam
know,
War, I think, is what started around
it's
that.
certainly going to be an interesting year in 2025. And like you said, it's going to be a year of real spiritual growth, but full of transitions. We're going to have to be very open to releasing, letting go, being open to change,
Mm-hmm.
boldly move
Adapting. Yeah.
forward, lots of closure. And of course, it's not only things we're releasing, but people around us are also releasing things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be quite a heady mix. And so a lot of what we're going to be doing going into 2025 is to really be serious about our intentions. What are we open to releasing? Really focusing, especially this year, more on the releasing and setting intention for personal growth, transformation, getting ready to move forward. It's a year where we're going to need a tremendous amount of grounding.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the things that I'm doing to move forward are all around cleansing my home and getting ready to put more grounding energies, into
Mm-hmm.
my practice. I'm in Aries, so I'm going to need a lot of grounding this year. Um, so, one of the things that I'm doing as the new year comes in is I'm doing a grounding floor wash. So, you take about a gallon of water and you add a cup of vinegar in there, and you add in some lemon, um, patchouli, rosemary, cedar, those kinds of grounding herbs.
Mm-hmm.
And with the intention of clearing out anything negative, especially stagnant, holding you back,
Mm-hmm.
and opening up the space to renewal. And mopping the floor with that is one of the things that really helps. A lot of people on the first already wash their front doors. do a cleansing on their front doors and set intentions for prosperity, entering their house in the new year, or they
Mm-hmm.
do it monthly for the new month. But this year, adding some of those grounding herbs in, even a little eucalyptus maybe, and really washing that front door down
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to need a little bit of protection also what comes through that front door this year.
Yeah.
So kind of, those little cleansings that we do, not just the smudging work,
Mm-hmm.
but also really cleaning the clutter out.
Do you make spray bottles with vinegar, water, lemon, patchouli, and
You
rosemary?
know what I am making? I'm going to post those recipes. And
Okay.
if anybody is interested, they can message me and I will send them the floor wash recipe. And then there's a floor sweep recipe that you can also use.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm making in my shop is I'm making a grounding oil for 2025 because I think we're all going to need that this year. And
Yes.
full of herbs to really promote clarity of thought, for that intention, that grounding to give us the stability to get through all of that. And then
Mm-hmm.
it has herbs and oils for spiritual growth and transformation. And so those oils will be in my shop. And the other thing that I am making is a grounding wash with the Epsom salt, Himalayan salt, and the different herbs
Mm-hmm.
to really go into 2025 and ground that energy. So, those are going to be my two products for 2025. And like I said, I will post those
The
floor
recipes.
or sweep recipes. And if people aren't hooked up on Instagram or Facebook, if they message me, I'll send them the recipes.
Okay, so they DM you and you send them the
Yeah,
recipes. And then grannymagic.com. Is that information there as well on the website, or are you just doing it through Instagram?
I don't have it posted actually on my website, but I have it on my social media and even in my shop. If they send me a message through chat, I'll send
Okay.
these.
Okay, that's great. So
Yeah,
I know
because
people are going to want to do that.
I really think this year is the year to do that. And when we're setting our intentions this year, one of the things that's um, really, really helpful is to think in terms of cleansing. And so, an easy thing to do is to take a bowl of water and just put a little salt in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have a little sprig of rosemary or cedar or something evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
And as you write what you want to release, really it's about focusing the energy and the intention.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a red pen, it helps to write it in red ink, right? That's the
Uh-huh.
message of stop.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fold that up and release it, put it into the water, and then take your little sprig into the cleansing water and just say, I cleanse this space. I free myself from anything holding me back. 2025 is my year, a year of transformation. And you're
I
going to have
think it's
to mean it.
I think it's going to be really important in 2025 for people to be okay with adapting
Oh
because
my.
a lot of people don't like to adapt. They'll try and force an agenda or run an agenda. If there's a relationship that doesn't work
Oh,
out for them, it's not working out for them. The other person doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore. If you try and fight to keep that relationship, it will not serve your highest and best good. So,
oh, it'll be a year of trauma. And
yeah,
it won't prepare you for the next year, 2026, where we're going back to a fresh start.
a
Um,
1 year.
a 1 year. Well,
Yes.
I pulled the tarot cards real quick, and the tarot card for this 2025 is the Hermit card.
Mhm.
And so it really is about being comfortable with being alone, looking out for your own authenticity, your
Yeah.
own, best self interest, your own spiritual transformation, and having the courage to move forward with that.
Even a belief in oneself where you don't need other people to validate who you are or your you're capable of, doing the great things that you want to do. You don't need other people cheerleading you on in order to accomplish that. So the hermit cards really be secure in yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
A
I
real
love it.
self-authenticity and alignment.
Hmm.
Because the real secret is to be in alignment with your purpose and the universe's path for you. And that's what magic's all about. It's aligning with that energy for your higher self.
Hmm. Yeah, I find a lot of my clients right now, um, the whole year's been people wanting to know about career,
Yes.
relationships, a lot of people having out relationships outside of marriages that I've been counseling, and trying to find that balance where I'm like, you need to pull the trigger on this. It's time. Set them free, let them
I
find somebody that will love them.
and do what you need to do. Well, the other cards nines are it's interesting. The wounded healer,
Hmm.
I call it the nine of wands. And that's all about stepping forward but protecting yourself. You notice he's protecting himself. He's got the wands in the back, but he's fearlessly
Hmm.
facing forward. He's ready to move on. He's ready to heal.
Good. So it's
No,
like healing old wounds.
don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. You know what to do in your gut,
Hmm.
your intuitive wisdom. Let the universe lead you forward. It's time to stop procrastinating. It just ties your energy in knots. And then the other one is this
Yeah.
nine of pentacles, which she's alone, but you'll notice it's a very sensual card. She's happy.
Yeah.
you Indulging ourselves a little bit, not being afraid to enjoy. There's nothing wrong with pleasure and enjoying the things that this life has to offer us. And I think self care is going to be important for us this year as we go through all of this. And then this speaks to what you and I see in our readings a lot with clients, the Nine of Cups. You know what? Get straight about who you want in your life. Who are you inviting into that feast? You have all that to offer. All
Hmm.
those cups are emotions, all the good things in your life. You have so much to offer,
Hmm.
but you're the host. You decide who you invite in and who doesn't belong.
I
And so
like that.
the nine cards are always challenging in a reading.
Hmm.
And this being a 9 year, you know, but I think even when we give people a reading, there's a certain amount of denial sometimes about moving forward. There's a lot of
I
response.
was happy to do. I was happy to do a reading yesterday, and I got the first name of the boyfriend and was pulling impressions and writing the impressions I was getting connected to him. And it was one of those times where I'm like, he wants to buy a house, he wants to settle down, he's looking at marriage, and she was like, yee. And it just felt good to be able to tell somebody that, because I've been dealing with this whole year of people leaving relationships, friends being seen for who they truly are and not really being friends at all. And then leaving, I just want people out there knowing that if they feel like the bottom, the floor's dropped out from under them, this is the energy right now. The universe tried to give us hints over the years that certain things didn't serve us. And for the people who didn't act on it or didn't intuitively pick up on that energy, they're being forced out of the situation that they're in. Forced, it feels a little bit more unsettling, but it's okay. But recognize it and don't see it as another challenge or fight where you need to fight against the universe, because that doesn't usually work out well for people.
Especially this year.
Hmm.
This year, really, this is a year to ground yourself and to go with that flow. What the universe has in mind for you is so much better than what you're clinging to.
Hmm.
But I think you're right, especially in relationships. People do want to cling.
Right. Right.
You know,
Well, they're afraid of being alone. afraid of being alone than most anything else I ever see. It's the having to look at themselves in the mirror and not have a distraction of being able to focus on that other person and trying to fix their life or focus on them, but you're
Yeah.
forced to focus on yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's why people are afraid to be alone. You should never be afraid to be alone. You make your friends your family. Maybe you get a cool pet that you get to enjoy their company, redecorate your home, get a new job, write a book, do something that is coming from within you, and let the energy flow back into you rather than you giving it out to everyone else around you.
Oh, agreed, agreed. And I think that process of transformation,
Mm-hmm.
when you open up to it, the
Right.
universe really need you. One of the things that will be very valuable going into 2025 is that shadow work,
Mm-hmm.
that we talk about so much, that it's not just always light and love. Sometimes we need to go deep. And so one of the things I have in the shop this year is I just got in are some shadow work journals. I've been waiting. People have been asking for them, and I waited until I found some that I really liked. And so I have those. And I think if you're feeling like 2025 is going to be a big year for you, get started right away. Looking at things in your past, what might be holding you back, exploring those things, and doing a lot of meditation
So those
and
books walk
journaling.
people through the steps of what you need to do to let go of is in your life. Is that right?
I'm sorry, you went out on me for just a minute.
Yeah, it's been going in and out the entire time that we've been
Kind of scares me
recording.
a little. So I guess repeat.
So, so the book that you speak of on shadow work walks you through the steps of what it takes to remove the gray areas from your life, things of the past, wounds tied to the past, old relationship and baggage. It walks you through it.
Very much. It walks you through it. It has meditation exercises, spaces even to draw, questions. I looked through it, and it's one of the best ones that I have found because it has different modalities to it. But I think being open to really, like you're saying, look at yourself. We
Mm-hmm.
can only change ourselves.
Yeah.
And once we're in alignment with our authenticity, and we can really answer what the universe has and is calling us to, we
Mm-hmm.
attract to us the right people.
We attract to us like energy. So universe are the same energies you're going to receive back. So people need to understand that if you make zero effort to know people, you lack loyalty, you're not there for friends, for things that are important to them, but you expect them to be there when it's important to you, then you're half a person. You're not functioning, and you're not going to draw in people who you want in your life because you're not actually being the kind of person you think you are, or being the kind of person that you'd like to be. So people working on being the person that they really, really want to be, and what they're putting out into the universe focused on in 2025. And you'll draw in many gifts and people that are like energy, like the energy you want to be. So raise
It,
your
that
vibration.
exactly, exactly. And so I think we'll see a lot in 2025 if we're open to letting things shift and change.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be able to step forward and attract into our lives what it is we're really wanting, and to be
Right.
that authentic. Even if I think of the I love this card, the courage of the wounded healer, in a sense.
But if the person, so they'll be presented the opportunity to be courageous and to heal their wounds. But if they don't embrace that part of themselves, then they don't move forward. So I love that the cards are showing us what energy is there for us, where the focus should be. But people, we
Yes.
have to do the work ourselves. It's not going to fix it for you. We have to be a work in progress at all times.
Yeah, very, very much. And even the grounding, the grounding tools, the crystals, the
Obsidian.
hematite,
I find
tourmaline.
isn't obsidian like hematite, like that very black stone that grounds you? I
Well, yeah,
like
it
those.
shields you. Obsidian actually is like a shield against negative energy.
Well, see, I went right for obsidian. That's what that's what I have. I wanted the shield. I wanted the full
Well,
enchilada. Like
oh, and then smoky quartz is really good for transitions.
it's also good for spiritual protection. I smoky quartz, and I
Yes.
wore the ring into a nail salon, which I'm normally
Oh,
it's kind of annoying to go to the salon now. People have a toddler on their knee. It's like it's a salon. Have your sister watch
it's
them.
not relaxing
It's
anymore.
not relaxing. And I wore this ring one day just to test it out. And it was the most peaceful experience I've ever had in a salon. So I will be continuing that process.
Smoky quartz is wonderful.
Yes.
And then the surprising ones that give you though the confidence and the energy for this year, red jasper for 2025. My one of my favorites, tiger's eye. That it gives you that it's protective, but it also confidence, success, and then
Hmm.
bloodstone, that vitality, that strength. The crystals will help. The grounding baths will help. The grounding oil will help. But you're the one that has to be open to the energies
Right.
and
Right.
being able to move forward.
It
They put
helped.
they
They,
just calm you down a little bit and put you
yes,
in a place where you can make those clear choices
adjust
to
your
move
energy.
forward. Hmm.
Yeah.
So
They
I
help
think
you
it's
to adjust their energy. They're
year.
wonderful.
I think it's going to be a really interesting year for people. I'm excited when I think of the snake and the wood snake, that imagery of shedding that skin,
Hmm.
and snakes are supposedly full of wisdom in Chinese culture.
And venom. Like, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they are protective, and I think there are times we need to protect ourselves and not feel guilty, especially this year. Say no when you need to say no.
Well, and I just want to say to people the crystals that you just named are not expensive stones. They're not expensive crystals. If there's somebody you love that has a birthday coming up, or just it's a nice thing to do, get them one of these stones that will help them through these times and put it on a pendant. That's why I wear the red stone that I wear. It's supposed to open my heart up, and that helps me to process emotion and empathy. So it's such a great gift to give, especially to a Capricorn for those Capricorn birthdays as we're in Capricorn season, because it's of the earth. They would love it. So,
Very
do
much.
you have a crystal site that you frequent or that you like and trust, or do you have them on your site?
Well, these crystals I have on my site,
Great.
these are pretty common. There are a lot of crystal shops online also. I prefer my shop and to go in person. I do think you need to be a little bit
Yeah.
careful when you crystal shop. I think going in
Yeah.
person, you can really feel the energy, and sometimes you just feel drawn to a particular crystal. And if you ask about the meaning and the energy, suddenly you understand why.
Right. No, I totally agree. You could tell by the feeling of the crystal itself. Um, so when people are setting intentions, what can young people do getting ready for the brand new year? Because I believe in incorporating some of these methods with your children, process energy, and to learn that at a young age. So as they get older, they don't feel so cast out into the world and without protection, but rather they know the things that they can do to center themselves.
Well, one of the things that I've done with my grandchildren is setting intentions for the new year, and we do a little ritual and we
Hmm.
focus. We light the candle, We meditate on the energy. We kind of raise the energy in the candle from the flame. And I have them write down what their intentions were for the new year. And then we
Mm-hmm.
went outside and we planted what at the time was a little rosemary bush.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then we've planted little pine trees, and usually it's some kind of an evergreen that's going to be hardy. And then they love it, especially the rosemary, because it's right by my front door. And so every time they come, they see that thing is like 5 feet off the ground now. It's this enormous upright rosemary bush.
Do you have any
And
tips for us mediums that kill things? We don't mean to, but we have a black thumb. I've killed more rosemary bushes by my front door. What do we do? We have to become a friend with a hedge witch or something because I cannot keep
rose,
any plant alive.
rosemary is one of the easiest. That's why I always recommend it. But I think people overwater rosemary, because
Okay.
rose actually is a Mediterranean plant and it grows best in sort of sandy soil. It needs a lot of
Mhm.
drainage. And so that's one of the reasons it does well for me.
So it's
But in
not good by
a
our
pot,
door in a pot.
in a pot, Dan overwaters it. I can't keep it alive in a pot, only in the ground.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
He babies them. He overwaters them.
Mhm.
Um, but that's I think rosemary. The trick is it thrives on neglect.
Oh.
And so what
Oh.
right now, and I'm going to do a little video on it too. Someone asked me to do it. I'm rooting rosemary, and I'm going to plant more because it just does so well here, and I use it. Rosemary is a universal herb. You can substitute it for any other herb in a working. It's kind of amazing.
Wow.
Its energy is such, it can be protective, it can bring in prosperity, it's just this very vibrant energy. And so they say it's a universal herb that substitutes for any other herb.
Okay. That's good to know.
So that's why it's just great. You have to almost grow it like a cactus or a succulent.
Well, I live in Arizona.
I
So
know, and I'm Fresno, so but it might be so hot where you are,
well,
and
I have it in the
feel it.
shade by my front door because I know you're supposed to keep rosemary outside your front door for
Hmm.
protection and to shield yourself from negative energies and dark energies. So I'm a big fan of rosemary and it tastes amazing, obviously during the holidays. If you incorporate it into your food and your cooking, can it work still
Yeah,
in that same way?
exactly. That's kitchen witchery. It's exactly the same. But
Okay.
things planting the things in your yard. I do have my rosemary, and then a very wise woman told me you need to have rue out there, and she brought me cuttings of rue. And rue acts similarly, and it's also it requires very little water. And so I have rue bushes out there, and then of course my famous wormwood. I can't live without my wormwood. And my son was house sitting, and he said, "Do you know when you water the front yard, your yard smells so good?" He just loved, when you water, you could, everything, you can just smell it. And it was interesting because a couple of my
Yeah.
rue plants died, and the lady who gave them to me, she said, they took a hit for you. She said, they're so protective, they will die to absorb that negative energy. So she's taught me, I've got some rooting right now. Since
Oh,
2025 is going to be such a challenging year, I'm root
yeah.
I'm putting more rue out front. She said, you need to replace your rue. So I'm working on that. I'm rooting rue.
Is
I'm
that
rooting
RUE?
RUE. And it's one of the most protective herbs. It's very traditional. When I
Oh,
met her, we were at a psychic fair and we were talking protection, and I kind of laughed and I reached in my pocket and I pulled out my rosemary that I had a sprig of fresh rosemary in my pocket. And then she laughed in
nice.
her pocket and pulled out some rue. It was so funny.
She-
Then I pulled out my necklace. She pulled out her necklace. We looked at each other, and it turns out we were born on the same day,
wow. Meant
the
to
same
be.
year. and we have the same number of children, 2 boys and 2 girls. It was just one of those kismet moments, right?
Wow.
And she's from
Soul sisters.
a different tradition. So she was teaching me what she knew, and I was sharing with her what I knew. So that's how I learned to use rue. And rue is really potent. You need to be careful if you work with rue because it does have a substance, when you pick it and it's green,
Hmm.
and it can irritate your skin. So,
She's like, I'll see your rosemary and I'll raise you some
oh,
rue.
yep. Oh my God. You know what? Exactly. She was so sweet. She looked at my rosemary and it was like, because she came over, we did some work together, and it was like, I don't know about that.
That's
But yeah,
funny.
The Hispanic tradition is very rich in California with the healers and then the much maligned
Santeria.
bruja. Yeah.
Santeria.
So
Hmm. Yeah, you
I
have to
learned
be
a few.
careful. You have to be careful of
Ri-
that, though. They tread on the dark sometimes because they're like Afro-Cuban roots in how
Oh,
they
oh,
practice.
I do know that. But it's an interesting experience. It is true. She does tend more towards a kind of a controlling kind of a magic. Where
Yes.
I what we do,
A little more
thinking of it,
voodoo. It's a little more voodoo, and sometimes animal rituals are involved. So it's just like,
well, cow tongue, and cow tongues run into money.
oh, I think I'm going to avoid the cow tongue just the same.
So too, you know. But I think what we do, rather than try to change other people,
Hmm.
I think the beauty of our approach is we change ourselves. And
Right.
that's what we really can do.
I was saying that more for the listeners. So if they know if they go to somebody that practices more in Santeria, it's going to have a darker tone than say what you do. That's more
Absolutely.
of white light and more of herbology in that sense. And it's not that they don't believe in it. It's just they have all these other things that involve chickens and such that can be done. They're a
Yeah.
little bit more into the curses, I'd
Well,
say.
I think so. There's a lot more, and I think it's possible to overprotect and try to over control your
Hmm.
service.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I will say for people going into 2025 with your children, even if they're little, like 4 or 5 years old, and they're in a bubble bath, if anything bothers them in life, like they have a bad day, somebody pushed them or somebody called them a name, when they're in their bath and they're just about done, say, I want you to think of everything that bothers you right now. And I want you to visualize away from you. And I want you to say, down the drain away from me 3 times, and we'll pull the cord or the plug, and it will leave your um, presence and your space. And to show them how to do this so they feel like they have a little bit of power in their life and they don't feel so vulnerable, that they do have a way to be able to get rid of things that bother them so they don't keep it bottled up and hurt themselves by collecting moments that injure their soul. They're
Hmm.
able to send it away from them. So I just wanted to say that too young to do visualization techniques like that in letting go of things that bother you or hurt you. Do you have an opinion on age for doing an
Well,
intention setting here?
I honestly think as young as 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Uh,
gives Go ahead.
I just wrote a crystal book for children that's on my site.
Oh, I
And there's
like that.
book that you can download. I think it's $3. And then you can actually order it, and it comes with the stones in the book. And I like it because it doesn't just tell you about the stones, it talks to them about how you can use crystals. And then it has like rose quartz for making new friends. And it tells them how to visualize
Mhm.
and meditate and hold the stone. And I'm trying to remember what other ones it has, and it does have something for protection in there too.
Watch
Um,
out for the animal lover children that figure out what stone to hold and they're like, I want a puppy. like your house is full of pets because they set their intentions on animals the whole time.
I
I
have,
love
I
it.
think my grandchildren are the ones that attract all these cats. Um, but the book is really helpful. I think I've gotten good feedback from people who
I
have
love
bought
that
it.
idea.
I've sold a bunch of copies right before the holidays, and then I've used it with my
Yeah.
children. Um, and then one of the ones I don't talk about much, little Layla up in the Bay Area, and she just loves working with crystals. And but she kept saying, "What do I do with them?" You know, and so that book really got her started. So I think if you're interested, and someone in another country said, "Well, can you make it into an ebook?" So I can just download it. But
Hmm.
it's really nice if you order the book with the crystal set. And then
Of
I always put a
course.
surprise crystal in there too
Oh, I love
with
that.
what to do with it. When you order from my site, whenever possible, if you buy a crystal or an herb,
Hmm.
I try to send, I now have informative papers to help you know various ways to use that.
I love
Because
that.
I
That's
think,
great.
but children are just so open,
Hmm. So
like
are
you're
your
saying.
can adults order your little crystal book? Will it help us to learn about crystals
Yes,
as well?
yes, it will. My son's wife, Sahar, she said, "I need this too," because she's just getting interested through me and through the children.
Hmm.
And it's helpful for everybody because you not only get the stones, but it really has, I call them in their little spells that
Yeah.
you can use, and they're very simple. And like you said, I tried to offer crystals that aren't expensive. They're fairly common.
Hmm.
If a crystal's expensive, that doesn't mean that it has more energy or special powers,
Right.
except for maybe moldavite, which I do not recommend for 2025, probably, because that really shakes.
What does moldavite do?
Moldavite moves all the blocks out of your way. Moldavite bulldozes you through. In fact, for some reason, maybe because I'm in Aries, I'm a little addicted to moldavite. Other people find it's too much energy for them. And
Hmm.
it's kind of humorous, and they say I can't even wear it before bedtime, and I'm thinking, geez, I can sleep with moldavite on. So moldavite necklace and a couple of rings on, but moldavite really blows through those blockages. It's a very high vibration because moldavite is an asteroid or a meteorite that crashed in Czechoslovakia. And it's actually
Hmm.
not a crystal, it's called a techite. It's like glass, and it formed this molten glass. And so it's
Hmm.
got this very high vibrational energy to it.
Do you have
So
jewelry on your website or do you just
I
have the crystals?
I have a lot of jewelry on my website. Most people like working with crystals in the form of jewelry. And like you're
Yeah.
saying, give it as a gift.
Well,
And yeah, and
yeah.
I love the bracelets because they're up against your skin. The
Hmm.
stone's up against your actual skin. Um, but yeah, and a lot of the spells, I actually have listed some too, where you can attach intentions to a crystal, set your intention, create a talisman to draw something towards you.
Yeah.
And I actually put little spells up. If somebody wants that, I can tell them how to do that as well.
Don't you have like a car protection spell in
I
crystal or
do.
something on your website? I think that's
I
so
do.
cool.
I hear I hear your girls have them.
Yes, you sent them for the girls. Either you sent them or I bought them. I don't know which because it was
I
a
think
while
you bought
ago.
them. Sophia said she had one in her car.
Yes, and for their protection. And God knows Aurora needs it. So, what
We
was the
should send another one.
I
We,
know. Yeah, she would need a car made out of whatever stone that is. She learned to drive in LA and it's not
oh my,
good.
well, she could be a good driver then. She's had the practice.
Yeah, I'll tell you that story another time as to why she's such a terrible driver. Be careful of which instructor you hire to teach your child to
Well,
drive.
well,
You
you know
said,
what? Those things are popular. Sometimes people don't want to buy all the different herbs and mix them.
yeah, you send them off to your kid, like with your kid when they go to college. You can
It's
get the
so
little car set.
And then the other thing that I've got, I'm starting to do more of our spell kits. And
Mm-hmm.
I've got two new ones, one for self transformation and one for self kind of actualization,
Mm-hmm.
that I really think are going to be blockbuster for 2025. And they use dragon's blood. And I
Mm-hmm.
include the dragon's blood little incense stick with it. I'll put those up on my site. Sent them out in people who
Yeah.
Christmas stockings this year. Those were in their Christmas
Oh,
stockings that I made this year for
what
some
a
people.
fabulous stocking. I love that.
Oh my gosh, some of our dead university students ordered those stockings.
Good. Good. That's
And so
fantastic.
now I'll put those spell kits up separately on the site. And so if people are interested, those spell kits with the dragon's blood, those would be excellent too for setting intentions. And children really enjoy
And
lighting.
just for the new viewers and listeners, dragon's blood is like sage on steroids for cleansing bad energy, negative energy. Go ahead.
It's so transformative. It is just
Mhm.
so transformative. But children like lighting things as part of what they do.
Uh-huh.
And so those would even be good for a child.
So for
Like,
people in this 9 year, which is a year of endings, I would say after the moves out of your life, smudge your house, sage it, and then burn
oh,
sweetgrass. Set your intentions. You've got to clear the old energy out of your environment, out of your space, and get it out the door. And isn't there an Irish ritual where you leave the front door and the back door open so that bad energy can move out and the new energy can enter?
yes, there's a variety of different traditions with doors and windows.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think the energy travels, but it's symbolically,
Oh, so you're
that's
sending it
setting
to your neighbor. So you're
it's
sending
not
it.
you open the door and the window, all of it is embodying an action. Because I think people want to do energy work just in their heads,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Say it loud,
in
say it
fact,
proud. Get out of your head. Put it out
thank you.
there.
And someone was demeaning what they called folk magic. This published author, and it was really interesting because I thought she's making energy work so intellectualized. And the truth is, we have this bounty of crystals and herbs and all these energies around us. We're children of the earth. And by actually
Yes.
taking action and embodying that intention makes it that much more powerful.
And
And
does she
kids,
really want to piss off a bunch of witches? I mean, that's kind of
I was
dumb.
just
I'm
like,
just saying.
I was just like, you know, to each their own, to each their own. I kind of got what she was saying. I think there's a belief, like with bay leaves, a lot of people for 2025 or a new year will write what they want to manifest on a bay leaf and they will simply burn the bay leaf. And, doing it without setting and visualizing a real intention
Right.
accomplishes nothing. And it's true. I got what she was saying. People come to me all the time. I burned a bay leaf. I asked for $1 million. I didn't get it.
The amount of people that want to set intentions to win the lottery, it's like just stop. Just stop. You're supposed to have a vision that you put energy in to create something that's new in the world, and these properties will help you manifest those intentions that you set
Oh,
in
huh.
your new business, or the home that you want to attract, or love into your life, or friendships into your life, things that you can put energy in and be in the part of the process, not lottery. I put that on my website for my money potion. I'm like, this will not work for you
Oh,
for the lottery specifically. I'm like, that's a game of chance. There's no energy to connect to. It's not the same as setting an intention to something that you're putting your energy into to give it life. It's just not the same.
oh, I love what you said. There's nothing for your energy to attach to in this.
Right.
And that's one of the big reasons we take the actions.
Right.
Yeah.
exactly.
And
So
align
I
ourselves with that energy of prosperity and abundance as we drink your, oh my gosh, your delicious vodka.
It's so good. It's people can't even imagine a vodka being a tasting vodka, but this is a
Oh my
tasting
God.
vodka. When you come out, we'll have to hook you up with a bottle of Divination 22 to drive back
Oh,
with you for
oh my
sure.
God. I got a little taste of it at Sedona's summer camp, and we can't order it. Unfortunately, we
You
have
were
to
the
go in
first people to
person.
try it. Well,
So we have to.
unfortunately, the big companies have a monopoly on the online ordering, so we can't sell it that way. They keep
Oh,
control of that. I've learned so much about the liquor industry. It's at One Handsome Bastard in Old Town Scottsdale, which is my distillery, but it's also a restaurant bar run by Trish and her daughter Bren. So I was attracted to that place on it by the name of it and the energy of it. And then it just turned out that a mom and her daughter run it and do the
oh,
distilling, which I loved. And so they've got all my big crystals in the room around the vats of vodka as they sort of marinate with the herbs and the properties that I put in them, the ingredients. And so they sit with the crystals, it amplifies them, and then I bless it, and then it's bottled and sent out to the bars. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's very exciting
well,
though.
I've never tasted anything like it before.
I'm the first. I'm pretty
Oh, it's
excited
delicious.
about it. Thank you.
It's worth
And
it to Arizona people.
yes, I know they're so lucky. It's right here. And they've been buying a lot of it. A lot of people popping into One Handsome Bastard, but I've got the money potion and I have the love potion, and I'm working on the resurrection potion, but the FDA doesn't approve things like chrysanthemums. And I'm like, okay, I can have chrysanthemum tea, but not chrysanthemum that's dried.
Totally
So I don't get it.
that. I
Yeah.
totally don't understand that.
I don't either. So it's I'm struggling with the resurrection vodka to help thin the veil so you can communicate with your deceased loved ones, but that'll be the third one. But I got the first two out. I'm very, very proud of that. Very 2024 of me of manifesting my vision.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. I'm so happy
Thank
though that
you.
it's available. I can't
Thank
wait to
you.
get a bottle or my own bottle. I had to share last.
Yes.
There was two bottles and I think we all shared just a little
Yes.
taste.
You guys were my little guinea pigs that night, and I just needed your feedback. So you were my um, focus group to see how the flavor would be received, and I really appreciated that. So you and my Dead University students all,
On our own bottles though, right?
yes,
We need to come buy our own bottle.
good time. Yeah, that was fun. So where can people find more information about you, your or book an appointment for a tarot reading with you?
Oh, that would be great moving into 2025.
Yes, I think so too. And you also can help them with intention setting, or even spells. I had a friend that went to you for a spell for a coworker, and that coworker left permanently the next day from the company. So you definitely know what you're doing. And my friend was
We're just
thrilled,
beaming out light. We're just beaming out
beaming out
light
lights.
and
So
can't
if
take the light.
people might need you to help them to set their intentions, they can go to grannymagic.com to get a hold of
Yes.
you, and or they can find you at Instagram at Granny Magic Margaret Jamison.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I
And look
follow
for the blue
you.
and look for the blue check. I now have a blue check because it was so confusing for people.
Yes, me too. Actually,
It's
on principle, I wouldn't buy it because I'm like, I've written 6 books. I have a television show. You guys are
oh that's
BS. Like, it was so ridiculous. And then I was sitting in my office one day and I got a ding on my phone and it said, you know, basically, you've been approved and you're verified. And I went, Sophia, like that. And she was like, yeah, mom. I was like, did you pay to verify me? And she said, yeah, she's like, please don't kill me. She's like,
Oh,
people just
I
were
think they're
having trouble.
everybody in North America, I think. I
Yeah,
think,
now everybody has to pay for the blue check mark, even if you were verified before. My
yeah.
Facebook fan page, though, I'm verified on it, but I don't have to pay for it there or on Twitter, which is now X. I think maybe I do on X. I'll have to look into that. I don't go on there that much. I
It's
didn't go.
great.
I didn't go on there much when it was Twitter. It's just so hard to juggle all the social media
I,
sites.
I just do Facebook and Insta, and for me, that's all I can handle.
Isn't it funny how different the tone is between people on Facebook and people on
Oh
Instagram?
my gosh.
It's night and day, isn't it? Like the
Absolutely.
people on Instagram are a little bit more bubbly and lively, and on Facebook a little bit more negative Nelly about things. And I'm just
There,
like, I'm
you
like,
know,
it's just a post. Okay.
well, and I have a subscribers group on Instagram, and I have a subscribers group now on Facebook. Those groups are like night and day.
Yeah, I bet they
I mean,
are.
it's fascinating. And then someone left one group to go to the Instagram group.
I'm sure. No, I get it. I
But
totally get that. So,
it,
so
it,
do
it's
you
very different.
share tips with them when they subscribe to you for that?
We do.
Interactive.
We have a live chat channel where we all communicate with each other, similar to the Dead University students.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then we have, I do special videos for them and give them different kinds of feedback. And then every month they get some kind of a freebie or a major discount from my shop.
I love that. I love that. So go to Instagram and subscribe.
And it's only $5 a month.
That's great.
Some of the Dead University students are on there, other people as well. So it's a lively little group.
My
And so
students love
we're
you.
clairs right now, developing the clairs. What are the different clairs? And
Okay.
getting people excited about that. And
Good.
sometimes I do rituals for them where if sometimes it gives people a little more confidence to see someone actually perform a ritual.
Yes.
And then some
Yes.
people actually watch it and perform along with me, because then they
Mhm.
feel they've got somebody there. And we're working our way up to possibly doing some live moon rituals together.
Cool. I love
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah. So I'm
Yep.
not so alone. The solitary,
New moon and Capricorn coming up.
my little coven. I have my little coven on Instagram, my little
I
subscribers
love
group.
that. Well, they're
Yeah.
lucky to have you. So thank you for helping to prepare us for 2025. Come back anytime and
Well,
Happy
thanks.
New Year.
Always a pleasure. Happy New Year. Many
Thank
blessings
you.
to the family too.
Thank you. And Happy New Year to my listeners. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week for a fresh episode of The Dead Life. I'm Allison DuBois. This is The Dead Life. And to all of my believers out there, don't stop believing.